Ellis Beefeaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
Radio 104.1.
Are we back? We're back. We be happening. Anyway, I'll get right back to your calls here in just a second. I don't want to belabor this, but I talked about this in spite of my ill health yesterday. And by the way, as I mentioned that, I have a long list of people that I want to thank for all their help yesterday on the show. And here's the way it goes. And by the way, yesterday was my worst physical day in the last 2 years. I was sicker yesterday than I have been in at least 2 calendar years, maybe even longer. Food poisoning. It's a lovely experience. Starts out in the top of your body, works its way through. I had the sweats. It was awful. It was really just an excruciating day. And my thanks to everybody here at the station, Rich Berner and Mike McDowell, for helping me get the thing organized. We got Erin to come in here and sit with me for a while. And by the way, she did really well yesterday. I was able to listen to some of the show after I got out of here. And I just wanted to thank everybody and I really want to thank Peter Lefcourt from Trattoria Gallo, because he sent lunch down here for me. Erin, of course, took advantage of it, but I just wanted to thank him a great deal. That was very sweet of him to send lunch down here. Who else? Oh, yeah, everybody on the staff, just everybody out there that was supportive and understanding, and it was just really great. It made definitely a hell day a lot more, what's the word? What did they make it? They made it, I was able to stand it a little better thanks to all their help. Hey, Barbara, you're on Real Radio 104.1.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, pretty well.
Great. I just want to tell you that I totally agree with you. I think that the lady should be compensated, and if the company won't do it, I'd be glad to send you some kind of a check, maybe $10, $20, $30. If more people did this, maybe she would know that other people respect what she did, and they'd like to say, thank you, you've done a great job.
The idea of this, I mean, I don't know, Barbara, have you ever found that kind of money anywhere in your life?
No, it'd be nice. I'd probably keep it.
Can you imagine what $9,000 looks to working people like you and me?
Yeah, really.
I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't care how you slice it. You could probably pay off your MasterCard and Visa with that.
Well, I tell you what, we're on our way to Melbourne Beach.
Right.
And it would have made a nice down payment on the condo we're buying.
Boy, no question about it.
Yeah.
No question about it. It's, and it's not that there ought to be a law or a rule to require this. But what an opportunity to make a statement, as the lady said before, as a positive reinforcer in the environment that we all live in. I mean, look at the way the world is. This is not the same place that we were walking around on 20 years ago. I mean, we have corroded and eroded in terms of the real values that make us what we are enormously over the last couple of decades. What a great chance. What a spectacular opportunity to kind of reverse that. But I think it was an opportunity missed, in my opinion. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. I don't want to get too far off the track on this, but I think last night's Magic game, all right, is proof of what I was saying yesterday about the fact that the league is working over Shaquille. I don't know what the NBA has against Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know what officials have a problem with him. But I saw the ejection last night. I did not agree with it. And this points out what Shaquille has been saying, what he's been fined for saying, that there is a definite effort on the part of the NBA to slap down this very young and talented basketball player. I don't get it. I don't know why the league would feel this way. I don't know why officials in the league would want to badger and inhibit and put obstacles in front of this man's success. But I thought it was pathetic again last night, and I think it's going to keep going on for 2 reasons. Number one, Shaquille called it, and he called it correctly when it started happening, and now I think the league is just digging in to show that they can push him and slap him around. I think it's pathetic. I think it's embarrassing. And I think the league ought to realize they wouldn't have a basketball league if it weren't for the caliber of play that people like Shaquille O'Neal bring to the court. I'm Ed Tyll. You're listening to Real Radio 104.1. We have some lines open at 647-1041. Toll free around the state of Florida, 1-800-443-1041. And if you are a Cellular One customer, we'll pay for the call. It's pound 1041. If you got a fax machine, 628-5872. This is John.
Oh, back to the subject, Ed.
Yeah.
I really can't believe what I'm hearing. I mean, you return something because it doesn't belong to you. I think that if you put everything on a reward system, you're putting the wrong values into our kids.
Well, I don't know what you mean by a reward system. I'm saying that, look, put yourself in the position of the company.
I wouldn't expect anything.
Now, hold on. Shh. You're answering the wrong question. You didn't even let me speak.
Okay, go ahead then.
If you are the person getting your money back, you're getting the $9,000.
Right.
And you would have lost that $9,000. There would have been zero for you. What is the value of getting your $9,000 back?
Well, I'm looking at it from, what is her name, Evelyn's perspective.
No. I'm asking you as the person. Did you hear what I said, John?
Yes, but I
All right, answer my question. If you're getting your $9,000 back,
I don't think she should get anything. I mean,
it
maybe,
represents nothing to you?
Maybe I would give her.
You're not listening to me, John. I'm asking you now for the third time, then I'm going to move along if you can't talk to me.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. You get your $9,000 back. What is the value you put on getting your $9,000 back? You just said to me inadvertently, it's worth nothing to you, which I think is a ridiculous comment. It means a lot to you when you could have lost it.
But it cuts both ways, though.
I'm not asking you to cut it both ways, John. Listen to me.
I understand.
You get your money back. Well, answer the question.
But like I said, it's not worth. I shouldn't have to give.
I didn't say you had to. Boy, you know, John, I don't know what the problem is with you. Do you have this problem at work or at school that you can't follow the conversation?
Well, I've already
I said that there is no requirement. I'm asking you, what does it mean to get your money back? So far, you've said it means nothing to you.
Well, I guess it doesn't mean anything to me then.
All right, fine. Well, let me move on to somebody else. I got your answer, right, after I beat it out of you. Bobby, you're on Real Radio. What a ridiculous comment that is.
I totally agree.
What a jerk. You get somebody who brings back your $9,000, you ought to kiss their ass in the public square, because the world in which we live is full of scumbags, liars, and thieves that would kill you for $50 if we just look at the crime page in the newspaper.
I just can't believe it. I mean, I would have taken the money and I would have gone to the Cayman Islands if I knew I were only going to get $100 back. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I can't imagine someone finding $9,000 and having the either, I don't know if it was stupidity or kindness. I can't figure it out yet.
Well, let's think about it, Bobby. How old are you?
I'm 20.
See, this is a 69-year-old woman. This is somebody, I guess, who could be like your grandmother.
Oh, well, she needs the money then.
I'm not saying, believe me, Bobby, I do not disagree with you, but I just wanted to try and answer the question that you just posed, which is, what did she really return it out of? See, I think, Bobby, in the world that 69-year-old people lived in and grew up in, okay, honesty was a very important thing.
I agree with that.
And I think today, no matter how altruistic or how idealistic our last caller was, honesty isn't worth a plug nickel.
Not anymore, it's not.
Exactly.
Especially, I mean, if it means $100 out of $9,000.
Right.
You know, that's an incredible amount of money to me, anyway. And
that's what I'm saying. I don't think there should be a rule or a law. I just think that
common courtesy. If someone's that honest in the 90s like that,
you got it.
I don't care how old they are. They should get something more that says, listen, thank you. If you find $9,000 again, return it to me. I want somebody to say, you know, geez, they gave me $3,000. Next time I find it, I'll give it to them again, and I'll get $3,000 more. Not next time I find it, I'm not giving them anything, you know?
No, you make an excellent point. And by the way, what are you doing now? Are you home from school or work today?
I'm at work right now. I work at Deep Six in Melbourne.
Oh, so you're at work now?
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
I've been listening to your show, and I can't believe it.
Well, you're the best. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Yeah, sure. Love your show. Bye-bye.
Have a great New Year's. I'm Ed Tyll, and you're listening to Real Radio 104.1.
Real Radio 104.1. 5 days of today's hottest talk.
Then I found something in one of my pockets. It was about as big as your shoe, but it was shaped like a rocket.
And a weekend packed with modern rock. Central Florida's real music weekend.
This Labor Day weekend, treat yourself to the fruits of your labor. Buy a new European road car from the imported car store during our annual model year-end clearance. New 94 Volkswagens, Volvos and BMWs. Every new 94 model in stock will be reduced through Sunday only for our annual Labor Day clearance. Choose from a huge selection of the entire Volkswagen, Volvo and BMW lineups, all specially priced for this magnificent sales event. We have a car in every price range to fit nearly every need for the discriminating driver. And now we have them priced to sell. While our cars have a timeless appeal, this special value is for a limited time. This clearance ends Sunday at 5, so come test drive the smart choice today at the Imported Car Store, 1 mile north of the Melbourne Causeway on US 1. The Imported Car Store, setting the standard for service and value. Why go anywhere else?
You're listening to the best of Ed Tyll on Real Radio 104.1. Please hold your calls. WTKS Cocoa Beach, Orlando. From the city to the beaches. Real Radio 104.1 News.
Okay, so what's going to happen to this trio of bad guys in Osceola County? Good morning, I'm Kathy Taylor with news and information from Real Radio 104.1. Fast traffic and weather from meteorologist Alan Casper coming up in seconds. Real Radio 104.1 news time 11:02. Well, their mugshots are being viewed by people who were possibly victimized by their terrorist acts. That's what cops in Osceola County are telling us about the 3 dudes they arrested the other night. Whether or not they're connected to the Italian tourist shooting last week remains to be seen.
As it stands right now, those men have not been linked nor charged with the shooting of the Italians. What we have done is included their names in intelligence information that investigators are using to try to find out what happened.
Lieutenant July Rivers says a photo lineup will be sent to a British tourist who fought off attackers a week before the Italian tourists were attacked. One thing is for sure, police know these guys were up to something the other night outside the Howard Johnson's on 192. Hey, did anybody ask you about the Cuban refugee mess? Me neither, but a bunch of other folks were telephoned and asked for their opinion on our attempt to keep South Florida from becoming taken over by the Cubans. 61% said in the Mason-Dixie poll that apparently support the U.S. policy of detaining Cubans at Guantanamo Bay, and even more say if they keep coming, maybe we ought to encircle the island nation with a bunch of Navy ships. Meanwhile, big talks in New York going on today on the Cuban migration. Cubans want the U.S. to lift economic embargoes, but we're not having any party of that. According to American delegates, the goal here is to find a way to stem the flow of refugees and get some of those folks in Guantanamo into the country legally. AAA Auto Club smiling from ear to ear because this has been a bang-up year for summer travel. Labor Day weekend expected to put a cap on what's been an exceptional year by some standards. Some 33 million folks are planning trips away from home this weekend. And for those of us here in the Sunshine State, Interstate 75 is going to look like a giant parking lot. Betcha. Mostly because the Gators home opener is this weekend. Thank goodness for college football. And with a holiday, that just adds to the traffic snarls. For those of you heading to Gatorville for the game, try US 441 instead of I-75. You know, take the scenic route. Uh-oh, somebody not at all happy about this week's mega merger between Lockheed and Martin Marietta. 2 Lockheed shareholders have filed suit to block the $10 billion deal. Richard Ramble and Frederick Rand claim the merger deprived shareholders of the true value of their investment in Lockheed. They complain Lockheed executives did not seek out the highest possible bidder for the company before agreeing to the merger. We could see some big media buyouts in the making as well. Time Warner apparently trying to buy NBC, the Peacock Network, and Walt Disney World Company supposedly has the hots for CBS. Top execs and all the companies involved deny any such deal. And finally, you're not going to get your 95 version of the firefighter beefcake calendar here in Orange County. Deputy Administrator Howie Tipton's directive to keep the firefighters from using county apparatus sat around a little too long, and now the deadline for print has passed. In other words, it's too late to go to press. Last year's shirtless firefighters in their gear and suspenders, muscle-bound dudes, accounted for $5,000 raised in charitable contributions to burn victims. Union reps say they'll start up another version for 1996. Real Radio 104.1 News Time, 11:05. Fast traffic weather from meteorologist Alan Casper up next.
A computer is like a car, sort of a vehicle for ideas, thoughts, words, information. And Computer City is the showroom. This is where you get to kick the tires, go for a test drive, see what this baby can really do. Does it have enough power? Do you like the way it feels, the way it handles? Maybe you want something fast like a sports car, or something with a lot of extra room like a luxury sedan. Or maybe you just need a reliable economy model. Take your time to decide. At Computer City, there's no hype, no high-pressure sales tactics, just a friendly person to help you choose from our selection of over 5,000 makes and models. Because it's a personal decision, your decision. And the only way to know which one's right for you is to get behind the wheel. So why not check out the AST Advantage notebook computer with a 486 SX33 megahertz processor and a 120 meg hard drive under the hood. It's pure driving excitement. And it's only $9.99 at Computer City, South OBT near Florida Mall and in Lakeland Square Mall. You can't make a wrong decision when you go to the right store.
This year, let Rainbow Travel turn your travel plans into a memorable vacation. The professionals at Rainbow Travel have been arranging travel in Orlando for 22 years now. They know the travel business. Rona and Barbara are seasoned professionals and world-class travelers. Rainbow Travel can deliver some of the most exciting and affordable vacations you'll ever dream of. They can send you on the perfect weekend getaway. They can help plan your honeymoon. They can send you on a romantic interlude, a business trip, or customize your dream vacation across the sea. Check out their cruise prices. They're the same as those cruise-only places. And if you like personal attention, someone to talk to who's well-traveled and has actually been there, call Rainbow Travel, 898-2050. And remember, it's not too early to think about your holiday plans. Let Rainbow Travel take care of your Thanksgiving and Christmas. Rainbow Travel, 1911 East Colonial Drive, 3 blocks west of the Colonial Plaza. Call them today, 898-2050.
Radio 104.1 Fast Traffic.
Traffic on the interstate is still pretty busy in both directions through downtown Orlando, but it is up to speed. And watch your speed on I-4 down near the Beeline. It's a notorious speed trap area. Traffic's pretty light on the east-west in both directions, but watch out for the construction on the expressway. It's in both directions between the 436 Toll Plaza and the Greenway. And on University eastbound, expect a one-light delay at Alafaya Trail. I'm Susie Cerrone for Real Radio 104.1.
This traffic report brought to you by the Colorado Fondue Company. Looking for a unique restaurant where you can relax and enjoy a wonderful meal without blowing your budget? Then try the Colorado Fondue Company at Redbug and Highway 436 in Castleberry.
Real Radio 104.1 weather for all of Central Florida. Lots of sunshine today, and we don't want to hear any complaints about rain because we're not getting any. High today up to 93. Fair tonight down to 75. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Our chances of rain increase just a little bit with a high of 93. And for the weekend, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Highs near 90s, the lows in the mid-70s. Right now, 86 degrees in Orlando. It's 86 on the beaches. When you demand news and information, this is your prime source. I'm Kathy Taylor, Real Radio 104.1.
Now, Vinny, my gumba, what's this I hear you talking about me on the radio in Florida?
What? I didn't say nothing about you, Carmine.
Oh, Vinny, don't disrespect me.
Carmine, all I said was that the views and opinions heard on Real Radio 104.1 weren't yours, Press Broadcasting's, or any of its affiliates. I was trying to protect you from the bucktooth trailer trash that listens to the station.
Vinny, my daughter listens to that station.
I know, I've seen her teeth. Oh,
Vinny, I like a man who likes pain.
That's me, Mr. Fellabacci. Here, throw this paperweight at my mouth.
You're listening to the best of Ed Tyll on Real Radio 104.1.
Please hold your calls.
Real Radio 104.1.
Ed Tyll. You may not like what he says, Ed Tyll, but he'll say it anyway, Ed Tyll. He's the baddest cat around, Ed Tyll. He's got the sharpest tongue in town.
make a comment about our bogus caller there in the last hour and about a fax that I just received during the break. You know, I really don't understand the myriad of ways that people react to topics like this. You know, this topic applies to you and me as well as it applies to Evelyn Hicks or anybody else you can think of. The idea of being honest, the idea of sacrificing, the idea of not going for yourself first, number one, I got to go for me, what's good for me, the idea of doing something for somebody else's benefit, in my opinion, is not something to be taken lightly. But I just want to share with you, first of all, you heard the guy last hour who said in his opinion it was worth nothing that she returned the money. And I tried as diligently as I could to ask him how he would feel if it was his money coming back to him, and he said absolutely didn't mean anything. Now I get a fax during the news break here. It says, to Ed Tyll. Ed, you started out criticizing them for not giving the woman a reward. You've now been told that they did indeed reward the woman, which, by the way, we don't know that for a fact. We have that as hearsay. We don't know that. It says, but now you're criticizing them for the amount of the award. Why do you have an axe to grind against this company? It is frankly none of your business how much of an award or reward, it should say, Anne, that the woman received. You know, I don't know. For some reason, some people can only see something like this in a very narrow and petty and, in my opinion, vindictive way. First of all, I have no interest in a campaign against this company, all right? If you've noticed, Anne, and our caller there before, you will notice I am not using the name of the company over and over and bashing the company. What does exist in this story, Anne, and I forget the other guy's name, if it was Billy or Bobby, whoever he was last hour, is that there is, in my opinion, a very revealing lesson about human behavior and about human attitudes at stake here. And I was talking to our fill-in receptionist, Charlene, during the news, and she told me of a story where she returned somebody's wallet that had $60 in it. And it took her 3 days to get the authorities to actually take the wallet and get it back to the person who lost it. And do you know that she didn't even receive a telephone call? She was never even thanked. This is not about you having a reward coming to you. It is about what I've been asking for the last hour and 10 minutes. And that is, what value do you place on the honesty, on the integrity, on the self-sacrificing attitude of a 69-year-old crossing guard or somebody just like you who would return $9,000 that they could have kept for themselves? And I happen to think that is a significant value, a huge value. I think it says a lot to you and to me and to our kids, our grandkids, our nephews, our nieces, and society at large about what we make of the honest and, the lessons of honesty that we have been preaching, quote unquote, and have heard preached our whole lives. But this is where it counts. This is where, as Ross Perot would say, this is where the rubber meets the road, buddy. This is where it counts, in the trenches, when the $9,000 is staring you in the face. Then we'll see what you're made out of. Anybody can call up a talk show and say, oh, yeah, I would return the money. Oh, yeah, I'd give it all back. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want anything. I wouldn't be expecting anything. You can say that when it's all in theory. But when you're looking at the $9,000 and you're in the financial condition that most of us are in as we dig out of this 4-year recession where we've been struggling to just stay even with the bills and even with our commitments of taking care of our families and taking care of ourselves and paying for health care and all the other stuff that taxes up the yang every time we turn around. So don't try, as obviously Ann and this caller did in the last hour. In my opinion, it's not a smart thing to do, to try and minimize the value of returning this money. I am suggesting that a lot more and significant recognition was deserving in this case. And I just want to know if you agree. And if you don't agree, just tell me why. But attacking me, saying that I have a problem, an axe to grind with this company, as this lady does on the fax, or I think the guy in the last hour, Bobby, Billy, Biff, whatever his name was, deliberately evading the question when you heard his voice. This is somebody that didn't need $9,000. This is someone who would not appreciate having $9,000 returned. I think not. I think he would have appreciated it big time. And the same thing with Ann. Ann, it's not grinding an axe on a company. And it is our business because this is our society. We are responsible for our behavior. We're not supposed to be laboratory rats for the people in government to socially engineer our behavior. If we have values, if we're honest people, if we're decent people, if we recognize the value of personal virtue and honesty being among them, if we recognize that ourselves, then we should stand up and be heard in a case like this. Let's get back to the phones. I'm Ed Tyll. This is Real Radio 104.1. Bob is next.
Yeah. Ed, how you doing?
Okay, buddy.
Hey, I just want to let you know I agree. I would give her more money than $100. I'd probably give her $900, 10%.
That sounds right.
I've lost money, and when I've lost it, I've just kissed it goodbye. When I found money, normally, if I haven't found any amount like $9,000, but I found a $100 bill before. And in two separate cases, one time I kept it, and the other time, when I was sure whose it was, I gave it back. But I think it's a lot easier. Like I found a Rolex watch one time, worth in excess of $10,000.
Right.
And it was easier to give that back because money's tough. Because people, if you say, hey, you lose some money, of course somebody's going to say, yeah, I lost some money, and it's easier to grab.